Hi, I'm Ron DeParmesan and you're watching News Cats. In Israel, the streets have erupted in anger, with hundreds of thousands demanding accountability from their government. This is a reaction to the heartbreaking news that 6 hostages' bodies have been recovered from Gaza, including that of Hersh Goldberg-Polin, an American citizen who was just 23 years old. This tragic revelation came to light on September 1, 2024, when the Israeli military confirmed that these individuals, taken hostage during a horrific attack by Hamas on an Israeli music festival nearly a year prior, had tragically lost their lives. The public's outrage is not directed at Hamas this time. Rather, it is squarely aimed at Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whose administration stands accused of failing to secure a deal for their release. Among the deceased were Yerushalmi, 32 years old, Ori Danino, 25, Almog Sarusi, 26, Alexander Lobanov, 32, and Carmel Gat, 39. The backdrop of this crisis traces back to October 7th of last year, when Hamas launched a surprise attack at the Nova Music Festival in southern Israel, resulting in the abduction of 251 individuals. Following this audacious assault, various efforts for both a ceasefire and negotiations for the hostages' release ensued, but tragically, these 6 lives were lost just before their bodies were subsequently found. The emotional toll this event has inflicted cannot be overstated, as their identities resonate strongly within their communities, igniting widespread protests calling for accountability from the government. On September 1st, as word of the tragic recovery began to circulate, demonstrators flooded the streets in the hundreds of thousands across Israel, with authorities estimating around 300,000 protesting in Tel Aviv alone. Demonstrators engaged in symbolic actions, carrying 6 coffins to represent the deceased hostages, creating a visual representation that drove home the gravity of their loss. This activism swiftly transitioned to a national strike called by Histadrut, Israel's largest labour union. The strike aimed to disrupt essential services and showcase the people's discontent regarding how the Netanyahu administration has handled the ongoing crisis. This unrest even caused operations at Ben Gurion Airport, the country's main travel hub, to come to a standstill for 2 hours, illustrating just how serious public sentiment has become. Families, workers and ordinary citizens are demanding accountability from Netanyahu's government, primarily for their perceived negligence throughout the entire hostage crisis process. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing fierce scrutiny and backlash. While the country mourns, his suggestions that the demonstrators had shown support for Hamas added fuel to the flames of discontent. This statement, seen as tone-deaf by many grieving families, has only deepened the divide and dissatisfaction among citizens who believe that the government has failed not just to protect its people, but also engaged in misguided rhetoric during a national tragedy. These sentiments exacerbate the ongoing discourse about public safety, military strategies, and the broader implications for Israel's future security efforts. As protests continue to swell, the atmosphere is charged with determination and anger. The implications of these protests are crucial to understand. There is a burgeoning sentiment among the people of Israel that if the government does not take effective measures to address their grievances, the protests might not only persist but escalate even further. This could erode public trust in Netanyahu and his administration considerably, forcing reassessments of both military strategies concerning hostage diplomacy and their overall approach toward Hamas and other regional players. The significance of this crisis underscores not only deep societal divisions, but also desires for a serious discussion about the path moving forward. As time unfolds, the outcomes remain uncertain, but one thing is clear: the emotional and political turmoil ignited by the tragic recovery of these 6 hostages will resonate throughout Israel for an extended period. This moment represents more than just a recovery of 6 lives. It reflects a broader dissatisfaction with governmental leadership. As citizens demand accountability and changes, this confrontation with reality serves as a painful reminder of the costs of military conflict and the high toll paid by families yearning for safety and certainty. The present events highlight a fragile situation amid a complex backdrop of ongoing negotiations, widespread public outcry, and urgent calls for more effective leadership. The tragedy of Hersh Goldberg-Polin and his fellow hostages transforms from mere numbers to vivid narratives, each representing a family shattered and futures stolen. No matter how difficult the path ahead may be, rest assured that the voices of protest will remain a significant force driving the ongoing saga of Israel's future. The developments witness contributions from various groups and individuals. Histadrut, the labour union spearheading the current protests, has articulated its disdain, claiming it is unacceptable that Netanyahu's government failed to rescue the hostages alive. Their leader, Arnon Bar-David, emphasised, "We are getting body bags instead of a deal," a statement highlighting the despair and urgency felt among families of the hostages. These sentiments are echoed in Tel Aviv, where activists surrounded a figure resembling Netanyahu, chanting phrases like "Alive, alive, we want them alive," and "You are the head, you are to blame," painting a vivid picture of the widespread anger and demand for action. International reactions are increasingly observed, especially from ally nations like the United States, with President Joe Biden recognizing the unyielding efforts of the families in seeking the release of their loved ones. The complexity of this situation burgeons not merely from domestic reactions, but also from the geopolitical ramifications concerning ongoing discussions of hostage exchanges and ceasefire opportunities. It appears that the emotional weight of these recent events will continue to shape the conversation surrounding Israel's security and national strategy for the foreseeable future. As events unfold, the overall mood among citizens and families remains one of profound sorrow, mixed with relentless determination for resolution. The tragic fates of the deceased hostages and the continued plight of those still held captive stand as a somber reminder of a painful chapter that Israel must confront head-on. Engage with us in the comments below, share your thoughts and reflections on this evolving crisis, and be sure to subscribe for updates on this crucial situation. Meow! I'm Rhonda Parmesan, and this has been another Newscat special report. Thank you for watching. And don't go far because another breaking story is right around the corner. Meow wow wow!